Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Sir David Gascoigne.
Taia, tēnei momo taia, tēnā momo whakatairangatia. Whakamānawatia te toki atu, whakamānawatia te rauorongo o i whiwhia. O i whiwhia te tohu, o i rawea te tohu, o i tamaua te tohu, taumata rautia te tohu, haumi e, hui e, tāki e.
I ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā iwi o ngā hoe whā. Tēnei aku mihi mahana ki a koutou. Kia ora tātou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai rā, ki te whare kawana. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings to you all and welcome to Government House. I specifically acknowledge the Honourable Carmel Sepuloni, Minister of the Crown, our kuia Dr. Hiria Hape, and our kaumātua Professor Piri Shasha. Tēnā koutou. It's a real pleasure to host this investiture ceremony today and bring together 13 honour recipients along with their family and friends to recognise the contributions they've made to our country. As Governor-General, I have the authority and the privilege on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold an investiture for her and to confer the honours to which each recipient is entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, as each one is honoured, I invite you to join me in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Mr. Ward Cummell will now summon the recipients and read a citation for each one.
Your Excellency, to receive the honour of knighthood and the insignia of a Knight Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Sir Roger Hall of Auckland for services to theatre. Sir Roger Hall is a leading playwright with a strong international profile who has played a key role in the development of New Zealand drama. Sir Roger was founder and co-organiser of the inaugural New Zealand Theatre Month, launched in September 2018. He has served on numerous boards, including Fortune Theatre, Frank Sargison Trust, New Zealand Literary Fund Advisory Committee, and Governor of the Arts Foundation of New Zealand from 2002 to 2010. As well as plays, he has written extensively for television, including one-off plays and more than 70 sitcom episodes in New Zealand and in the United Kingdom. His first stage plays, Glide Time and Middle Age Spread, written in the 1970s, was successful nationally and in Australia. Middle Age Spread ran in London's West End for 15 months. Since that time, he has written a stage play or musical every year, all of which have been performed by the country's professional theatres, as well as numerous productions by community theatres. His pantomime scripts were performed at Wellington's Circa Theatre each Christmas for 10 years. He established the annual performance of a scene from the Bruce Mason play, The End of the Golden Weather, on Takapuna Beach each Christmas Day. Sir Roger has written many books for children and organised the first New Zealand's Writer Week in Dunedin in 1989, an event which still continues.
Arise, Sir Roger.
To receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Dorothea Ashbridge of Auckland for services to ballet. Dorothea Ashbridge was a dancer with the Royal Ballet in London for 20 years before immigrating to New Zealand, at which point she choreographed dance routines for TVNZ programs before joining the Royal New Zealand Ballet. She was a founding member and ballet mistress of Limbs Dance Company. She has been a ballet tutor for the Auckland Performing Arts School and has been a jury member for several world ballet competitions internationally. A number of her students have achieved international success, and many of her privately tutored students have been selected for the Royal New Zealand Ballet. She was a coach of classical ballet at Unitec for 10 years, and in 2007, Mrs. Ashbridge performed a duet as part of the Auckland Tempo Dance Festival at the age of 79. Dr. Candy Cox of Rotorua for services to health, particularly suicide prevention. Dr. Candy Cox has been a senior nursing lecturer and head of the School of Health, Nursing and Education at Waiariki Institute of Technology. She was the first Māori nurse to gain a doctorate in education. She was instrumental in introducing cultural safety into the New Zealand nursing curriculum. She has designed, developed and delivered a national diploma in applied Māori health, coexisting disorders and a national certificate in suicide intervention. She has undertaken research on suicide prevention and the cultural aspects of suicide within communities. She developed a kaupapa Māori model in understanding suicide and co-developed a research project, Hohānau, affected by suicide. Dr. Cox is the Child and Youth Mortality Review Coordinator for the Lakes District Health Board and a trustee of Aroha Nui Art and Education Trust. Mr. Mike King of Auckland for services to mental health awareness and suicide prevention. Mike King is an entertainer who has used his celebrity to reframe the conversation around mental health, addiction, and suicide prevention. He co-created the Nutters Club and the Key to Life Charitable Trust to connect with people of all ages across different backgrounds. He travels New Zealand speaking to schools about mental health as a Key to Life ambassador and has delivered presentations with the Bay of Plenty coroner. Suicide figures in the Bay of Plenty area over the past 2 years have significantly decreased, in part due to his presentations to high schools. Mr. King has made 75 episodes of the Nutters Club television show, has hosted hundreds of Nutters Club radio shows, and wrote the best-selling book, The Nutters Club, Helping Nutters from the Inside Out. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Edith Amituanai of Auckland for services to photography and the community. Edith Amituanai is acclaimed for photographing her local Auckland Samoan community. She was the youngest artist to feature in Contemporary New Zealand Photographers, a major survey of photography. She won the inaugural Marty Friedlander Photography Award and was the first Walters Prize nominee of Pacific descent. Her works have been exhibited widely and belong in a number of collections. She is the chairwoman of Rānui Action Group, a project, an NGO and community development organisation. She has managed her local rugby league premier team and volunteered with the Auckland Migrant Centre. Mrs. Amituanai has used art to engage with young people, including undertaking a 6-week residency at Flaxmere's Kimiora Community School. Ms. Felicia Brown-Acton of Auckland for services to the Pacific and LGBTQI+ communities. Felicia Brown-Acton was Project Coordinator for the Pacific Peoples Project at the New Zealand AIDS Foundation and managed the Foundation's International Development Programme. She coordinated 2 Love Life Whānau gatherings, the largest gatherings of Pacific sexual and gender minority groups in the world to date. She is a trustee of the Māori, Indigenous and Pacific HIV/AIDS Foundation and co-chair of the Asia Pacific Transgender Network. She founded Whine Pasifika Aotearoa, which supports Pacific LGBTQI+ peoples and their families. She is a board member of Auckland Pride Festival. Ms. Acton-Brown has been a delegate to several equal rights and human rights conferences internationally. Ms. Stephanie Johnson of Auckland for services to literature. Stephanie Johnson is an award-winning author of novels, short stories and plays. She founded the Auckland Writers' Festival and co-directed it through the first 10 years of its experience and existence. She has been invited to attend numerous international festivals and has a key role in promoting New Zealand's literature on the world stage. She has written 20 books, and her works are recognised for their dry irony and humour, as well as strong themes of biculturalism. Ms. Johnson is active in the community, has judged literary competitions, and has taught in tertiary institutions, on adult education programs, and in Auckland Prison. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Mrs. Christine Bygrave of Mangahai Heads for services to the community. Christine Bygrave has been involved with the Mangahai Historical Society from its early days, when a new museum was conceived. She continues as an active volunteer and chair of the board. She is also a trustee of a Pioneer Village project situated next to the museum. She is a member of the Mangahai Golf Club and was its first female president. She plays the organ for services at the Kaiwaka St Paul's Church and leads the Mangahai Sisters and Singers. She helped to establish the Hakaru Pony Club. Ms. Bygrave was the chairperson of the Ōtamatea High School Board of Trustees. Mr. Russ Hoggard of Auckland for services to athletics. Russ Hoggard began to coach athletics in 1958 and carried out the majority of his work on a voluntary basis. He has coached thousands of athletes from community and club level to secondary school national competitions and to national and international success. He runs a specialised development program to ensure that athletes maintain and build upon their fitness throughout the year. He regularly adapts training sessions to include athletes from sports such as cricket, rugby and hockey. At 89 years old, Mr. Hoggard continues to coach a large squad of development teenagers and works regularly at the Millennium Centre. Mrs. Anne Howell of Auckland for services to the community and education. Anne Howell was a member of the Anchorage Park Kindergarten Committee and foundation member and secretary of the Anchorage Park School Board of Trustees. She has served on the board since 1989 and is now the board chairperson. Her support and advocacy was instrumental in the retention of the Anchorage Park Community Centre on the grounds of the school. This community centre offers a much-needed facility and support for the local community. Mrs. Howell served on the Pakuranga Intermediate School Board of Trustees and on the Edgewater College Board. She is the chairperson of the Farm Cove Scout Group. Miss Alison Thompson of Hastings for services to the community. Alison Thompson serves as a Justice of the Peace in Hastings and was President of the Royal Federation of New Zealand Justices Associations. She is Registrar of the Hawke's Bay Justices of the Peace Association and has previously held a range of offices. She is involved with the Waiapu Cathedral Parish, has served on diocesan committees and currently serves as People's Warden. She was involved in raising funds for the repair and extension of the cathedral organ. Miss Thompson has been president of the Napier Civic Choir in addition to committee work and ongoing service as a librarian. Mrs. Sue Winters of Rotorua for services to education. Sue Winters has had an extensive career in mathematics education and in school change leadership. She has been chair of the Bay of Plenty Mathematical Association and secretary of the New Zealand Association of Mathematics Teachers. She has led collaboration and future-focused learning across provincial and rural schools and kura through the Virtual Learning Network community, Volcanics e-learning community, and Rotorua's Ngā Pū Manawa e Waru. She has helped to establish wellness centres at secondary schools and has helped expand school netball opportunities. Mrs. Winters continues to work alongside schools and kura, designing and implementing education innovation and inclusiveness. Your Excellency, to receive an honorary Queen's Service Medal. Mr. Perenise Tapu of Auckland for services to education and the Samoan community. Perenise Tapu is Head of Department for Samoan Language at Macaulay High School and tutors Samoan adult learners at the Pacific Education Centre, Manukau Institute of Technology. He developed the Taiala o le Ngangana Samoa, Samoan Language Framework in New Zealand, has organised activities for Samoan Language Week and regularly takes student groups to Samoa. He helped establish the Malaiola Auckland Samoan Catholic Centre and was project facilitator of the Malaiola Family Violence Programme. Mr. Tapu has represented the Samoan Catholic community on the Pastoral Council of the Diocese of Auckland and helped form the Taimua youth movement. Your Excellency, the investiture is concluded.
An investiture ceremony is the most important event I hold on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen of New Zealand. It allows me, as Governor-General, to recognise and thank an extraordinary group of people on behalf of all New Zealanders. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by service to their communities or by their leadership in diverse fields of endeavour, or by their commitment to excellence in their own area of expertise. Our recipients have set a fine example to others, encouraging them in their own endeavours. To the recipients, it's been a privilege to hear your stories today. In your own way, each of you has made New Zealand a better place to live. In some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your works has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we've heard reflect the spirit of the words of Nelson Mandela when he said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It's what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Your contributions have enriched the cultural, social and economic framework of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your communities appreciate and value the work you've done and are inspired by your example. On behalf of the Queen of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements and I thank you for your service to our country. Kia ora hui tātou katoa. Ladies and gentlemen, that almost brings to a close the formal part of our proceedings today, but before we break for refreshments, can I ask you to stand and we'll sing our national anthem.